Happy Saturday afternoon, everybody. You guys can tell I'm in a different location. I'm not at my home or not at my house in the den. Where I am is I'm at my grandma's house. And we just had lunch a few hours ago, and I'm drinking good old 7 Up soda. My father and my grandma are just chilling, watching the football game, and me, I'm just chilling in the back patio. This is a beautiful, beautiful patio. Hold on. Oh, wait. I always get something on the lens. It's always dripping. Hold on. I'm sorry about that. Anyways, I want to show you this. This is what my grandma's house looks like. See all the beautiful trees and just to remind you, I'm in Margate. I don't want to give the full address because don't do that. I'm just in a different location because the reason why I'm doing this because I want to film early because I have other things to do and I have to set up the Christmas tree and all of that. Because I can't. It's almost a few more days before Christmas. Well, Christmas is almost here. Not a few more days because we have other weeks to go before Christmas. So yeah, this is a good house. This is where I chill in the backyard, and up here. Just a reminder, this house is like 41 years old. This house was built in 1984. I started coming in this house when I was an infant and when I was 2 or 3 years old, and I used to play around here. All of this I used to play right here with toys. Never did a NASCAR race over here. It would have been possible if we did something like that, but the den is always a good choice to do it, so. So, there's a few things I want to discuss about. I'm going to put my glasses on. Hold on. I'm just going to get the exercise to walk around. Hold on. I can't even see anything. Alright. Here I am. So let's just get up and walk around. There's a few things I want to discuss about. So, I know for a fact, sorry, I'm always hesitating. I just woke up this morning. Alright, let's cut to the chase. I know for a fact, for the 1959 NASCAR season, for the Daytona 500, there's a lot of things that I said before in the previous videos and everything else. Well, not everything else, but the previous videos, like me saying the schedule and saying full broadcast. I'm just not quitting YouTube. I will never quit YouTube. I'm just saying when we do the NASCAR 1959 season, the problem was when I asked ChatGPT about that. ChatGPT tells me everything. You guys should go on it. When I, ask ChatGPT about that, they say NASCAR wasn't, big at the time yet. And you know what? There was no TV broadcast. And, usually I go onto the old NASCAR races videos for the season and I see who won the race, what the race would look like, or the analysts would look like, the analyzing and all of that. But there wasn't a lot of racing NASCAR, broadcast because back then NASCAR wasn't big yet. It wasn't so national yet. For 1959, they did some of that, but the thing is that we won't do a full championship season for the 1959 season. We might just have to do a little bit, but right after that, in 2027 or maybe 2028, we will just, kicked off to the 1975 NASCAR season and then go into the late 70s and go into the early 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. Because you know what? Fans like you guys and fans like other guys like Ghost Jerker and all of that who love NASCAR and fans of myself wants to see more of that. And you know what? If I did like a full championship season, like after the 1959, if I did like 1964, it won't be too boring, but You guys, I know for a fact, I know very, very well, you guys really, really love Talladega, and I love Talladega myself because Talladega is the fastest track on earth. If I don't do Talladega, and and if I do this 1964 before Talladega isn't constructed, you guys will kind of get a little, bored, and you guys might kind of, get a little bored and maybe get a little, you know, not hesitant. What is that other word? I'm trying to think. You guys might get a little, you know, confused, and because those of you who are alive or who are alive who grew up in the '60s, my father grew up in the '60s. He told me that NASCAR wasn't big yet at the time because it was too regional, and it didn't kicked off until like in the late '70s and until the early '80s. In the '90s and the 2000s, it was all history. That's where I want my videos to be based on all about. But to begin our first ever chapter of the debut, we're just going to start off. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Use good manners. We're going to start off with the 1959 season because that's the first ever true Daytona 500. But we won't do the 1960. We might do that, but I would recommend not getting kicked off for the 1960s because, ChatGPT told me that it was all limited TV coverage and they didn't show too much videos. All they just showed was the big events, and then it told me that it wasn't national or nothing like that at that time. So yeah. So that's why 1975, 50 years ago, kicked off the modern era because point system was involved. It was more organized. It's all about being organized and being organization. But it won't stop me talking about the fitness. We will do that instead, like in a personal video. I won't do it here like in a location like this. I'll just do it in my original location in the den, like how was NASCAR was born, what did NASCAR do during World War II, or what happened in NASCAR in the '60s and everything else. We'll talk more about that, but more of the personal videos. So hold on, my fingers are killing me. So yeah. So, because I just found out about that. I mean, good thing is I asked ChatGPT. ChatGPT will tell you, and my dad will tell you because my father grew up a lot in motorsport racing, and he started knowing about it in the late '60s, like 1968, 19, but he didn't knew the full comprehension. Like he didn't have a full comprehension about knowing the drivers, knowing about the car. It wasn't until the late '70s he knew about that, like 1976, and then going into the '80s he got more into it, and then going into the '90s, yeah, yeah. And I know for fans like you guys will say the same thing as well. You guys want to see more of the '70s because that time when the '70s things got big, Talladega was already constructed, and Talladega was already famous at the time. So we're gonna do more of that. So after we do the 1959 NASCAR season, we'll just kick off the 1975. We'll do a late '70s NASCAR season to kick off the 1975 modern era, and we'll just go from there. We'll go into the '80s, we'll go into the '90s, we'll go into the 2000s, 2010s. We'll do, or else we'll do pattern. After we do the 1975 season, we'll just I'll do the 2018 series, 2018 NASCAR season. So that means you guys will see Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, and Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, all those prestigious old school drivers, because these guys are old school. And I'm old school myself because I'm a commentator. Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, that was something I wanted to address to you guys, just to be aware. Because the good thing is I found out about that. That's the good thing I found out, because if I wasn't doing this, you guys would have been, well, if I wasn't, asking more about ChatGPT and asking more about racing to my dad, like why was racing popular, wasn't popular. If I didn't ask him all of those questions, and if I was saying, racing was popular in 1961, you guys would give me a comment, and you guys will say, you guys will actually say to me, "Hey, Richard, NASCAR wasn't born. Well, NASCAR was born, but NASCAR wasn't big yet. It wasn't until 1976 or whatever year you guys started watching racing. It wasn't until 1975 it got big. So, good thing is I know, but it won't stop me from doing the 1959. I want to do the 1959 season just to show you and just to, do to show you what NASCAR, looked like back then and what was the true first. But that doesn't. But we won't do a full championship season because they did not have too much videos. So we'll just stick with doing the Daytona 500, Atlanta, Martinsville. But for the other tracks that they race at, we might have to stop from there because I don't know what happened, and I like to see full coverage and stuff. And well, I like to see full coverage and more details, but again, ChatGPT told me that it was very limited. So that wasn't until 1975 and then 76 and 1977 and the 1980s and that's when they did full coverage and full broadcast. And that's what we're going to do based on my videos. Hmm. So, yeah, yeah. Let me see. Was there something I wanted to say? So just be aware, we won't stop making videos. We'll just go into the big time when NASCAR was popular. It's all about popularity for the sport. Because let me tell you something. In the 19, like when NASCAR was born in the 40s, and then when NASCAR was big in the 50s and in the 60s, well, when NASCAR was, alive in the 60s and when they existed in the 1950s, it wasn't big yet. It wasn't big at the time. It was early roots. That's early NASCAR. And it wasn't until 1975 all the popularity magic and all the rivals began. It wasn't until 1975. And then going into the finish up the 70, well, going into the other 70s. Ah, how am I supposed to say? I'm sorry, guys. Let me rephrase that again. Listen to me. Listen. It wasn't until 1975 the popularity got big in households of the names of the drivers like Petty and Allison and Yarborough and all the good old boys. And then going into 76, going into 77, going into 78 and 79, and going into the huge decade of the 80s, of the 1980s and the 1990s and the 2000s and the 2010s and the 2020s this year. That's when things starts getting kicked off, and that's when things start turning the table for NASCAR to get big. Because you know what? Talladega was big at the time. And we will do more Talladega. We will do that next year. I don't want to wait until like 2030. No, 5. No, that's going to take a long. You guys want to see. I know you for a fact, you fans and my colleague friends want to see more Talladega because Talladega was big at the time back in 1975 and the 80s. And I know we will do the 2003 NASCAR season in 2031 or somewhere around there. We'll do something like that. Yeah. Mm, I finished my drink. So I just want you guys to understand, like the broadcast. And I know you guys hear that too, but I thought, because when I first did the videos of the Pepsi 400, like I thought I thought for myself, we're gonna go like, all right, we're gonna go into 61 or 60s, but I just realized something. Like when I had a conversation with ChatGPT, when didn't ChatGPT would, tell me don't go to the 60s because well, you can go to the 60s, but don't do a NASCAR full season because it was limited broadcasts. That's what ChatGPT told me, and then I say okay, and then I ask ChatGPT when did NASCAR got big, and then 1975. So 1975 will do, and then 1976. So. And I know we will do more of the 2000s NASCAR racing series. We will do more of that. So we'll do more of that. like Tony Stewart, because that year was old school as well. We already did the 2002 season, so we're gonna go on to 2003, 2004, and we'll just go from there. And we'll go to the 90s. We'll go into the 1990s, like we'll do 1991. Probably in 2029, we probably do the 1992 or 1993, something like that. We'll do. So yeah. So that was just something I wanted to address to you guys. Excuse me. All right. Anyways, there's something special I wanted to do. We're gonna do a toy review. I got Lee Petty. I got Fireball Roberts. So let's go to the table. Just give me 1 sec. Let me see what I can hold something. Hold on. Oh yeah, my JBL speaker. We're gonna do a toy review. Wonder if I can flip the camera. Oh, I can't. Dang it. All right. This is on my grandma's table. We're gonna do a diecast review. So, let's start off with the big stuff. First off, we got Lee Petty. Oh, come on. First off, we got Lee Petty. Look at that. This is Lee Petty's car. Let's open it up. Look at that. It's a V8 engine. It's a 1957. This is all the same year when NASCAR started getting big and all the other cars. Uh-oh, the tire popped down. Look at the back. Look at the interior. Oh. Look at the cockpit, the wheel. That's just awesome. That's just awesome. Hold on. Oh, the camera's all zoomed in. I'm trying to zoom in. Oh, there we go. All right. Let me try to do something. Let me try to do a commentary skit. Turn around, turn. Perfect. Oh, perfect for donuts. It can't do donuts because this table is made out of net. I have to hold it. Perfect for donuts. Look at that. It says Bell South. Just to remind you folks, this is produced in 1998 for the 50th anniversary. But a lot of people, when they see this car, they kind of refer to, Lee Petty because this is what he used to drive. And we will use this for the Daytona 500. So awesome. Nice metallic gold colors right here. 42 car. The grill. This is a Chevy Bel Air. 1957. Perfect. All right. I got something good. Fireball Roberts. Look at the interior. Same V8 engine. Look at that. That's Hendrick Motorsports. I mean, this one's supposed to say Budweiser. I know this says my name. This is what my nickname is, Ricky. But this was Ricky Craven's car from the 90s. But again, I wanted to turn this car into Fireball Roberts because this is the type of car that he drove back then, back in the 50s. Something like that he drove, but it was all, dark color, and the number was 25. Because, he had a number 25 in 1955, but he changed it to 3. But 25 is the car that people like. Like that. Let me try to get a grip. Oh, yeah. These things will run really good on the treadmill. They'll run really good on the treadmill. Whoa. Yeah, this is a good camera angle. There's still 3 more cars to go. Look at the metallic gold tires. The good grill. This is the front plate. This is the engine. Well, this is the spoiler. Let's see. This is the engine. Yeah, this is the engine. And look at the back. This is the back spoiler. Let me try to do a donut. Perfect for donuts. Oh! Oh, he's upside down. Oh, he's no fireball rubber upside down. I don't want to like get too damaged on these cars because we're saving these cars for. We're actually saving these cars for next year's NASCAR's 1959 season video. So for the Daytona 500. So yeah. Give me one sec. Yeah. Oh, you want your black? All right. Okay.
What you have to do is put that down there for me.
All right.
And my iPad. Okay, I'll see it.
Here's your iPad.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're such a doll.
You're welcome.
Is that okay if you sit like that?
Yeah, no problem. All right, guys.
That's pretty comfortable for you, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what Fireball Roberts' car
It's not
looks
that
like.
hot outside, is it? What's it? Oh, I'll look at the temperature.
Fireball Roberts' car. So moving on. This is the car that I showed you the diecast review.
On the table.
Richard Petty.
On my glasses. Will you
Sure. Give me one sec,
I can't
guys.
get up and down again. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You got a nice Bel Air over there. Wow. Okay, we'll talk about that when you get back out.
No, see it's fine. Yeah.
Who's that one belong to?
Who? The red one?
No, the other one.
Richard Petty.
That one, I can't see the red one is good, but I know that orange one is a Bel Air.
Yeah. Richard Petty.
Let me see. Yeah, Aunt Nancy had one just like that.
Oh, yeah?
And
Okay,
then
I'm gonna like
let's
to
see.
take a look at
It's
these.
not an Oldsmobile though, it's a Chevy, isn't it?
Yeah. Give me one sec.
Chevy. What kind of Chevy? Bel Air?
Yeah, Bel Air.
Good, good. Okay, honey.
And Chrissy got that.
And, okay, you can put it back down by the other one.
Alright. Alright. Oh yeah, this chair's comfortable. So this is the car that I got. You guys saw that this is what I did for the video. When Nate was here, he liked it. Trust me, these cars are gonna run really good on the treadmill. Alright. This is what we got so far. We will get more of these. You know, it's gonna be in different shape, but I'll turn it into a race car. Alright, let me show you something. This, oh, hold on, let me move these, get some space. Give me one sec. Alright. This is the car, the winning car for the Pepsi 400 video, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Look at the tires and everything. The tires were worn out because, you know, I was testing them, but you know, when we did that race on that day, the tires were just like slick. Like it had a good grip. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. This car won't run anymore on the trend. It probably might, but I'm gonna get a new version of this car for the 2003 season. But this is what this is what we did. This is what I have for the Pepsi 400 video when we did back in July when Nate was here, and this was just the winning car that took the win for the Pepsi 400 at Daytona on the 4th of July weekend. We will do a lot more of this, but this time we're going to do the 2003 one, and we'll do the 1975 one, we'll do the 1980s one, and we will do a 1959 Firecracker 250. We might do something like that, and I would say after that would probably be done for the video. Well, we'd probably be done for that part of the video for the season because they didn't have too much broadcasting and all of that. So we'll just do Hot Wheels until I get the next NASCAR diecast from the 70s or else from the 80s or from the 2000s. Like, we're just gonna do it in tropical order. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be, order fashionly. It could just be, a mixed order. So we probably might just do the 2003 one, or else let's see, or else maybe the 1975, if I can get some, or else maybe the 1983 or 1982 or 1980. I can try to do something like that. So yeah, this is the car that ran in the Pepsi 400 and won the race. Perfect for donuts. I kind of forgot to do the burnouts. We were too focusing on talking about our post-race show and celebrating the win. So, all right. Oh, let me just show you again. All right. One more car that I have is Joe Nemechek. This is another car that ran in the Pepsi 400 racing video. I just realized this car was a Busch car, because this is what he drove in 1995. But, it doesn't matter. But I'll get something, different like this car. Or else I might use the Jerry Nade's car to use as Joe Nemechek, because that's where he ran in 2003. But this is another good car. 1995. This is what I got when I was little. When I was a kid, my grandmother gave this to me. And the tires were kind of worn out because, I played with this a lot. So, but I knew this car was a good car. And I think they sell more of these on eBay. Yeah. And they made this car into Elite Petty because, I think Nemechek said on the interview or something. But I know for a fact, guys like Nemechek, he was a big fan of Elite Petty and all of it. Because, this is how he got into racing. And I know he grew up in the 70s, Nemechek. Wait, let me try to do a tire roll. Let me try to do it like a run. Any wobbles? Sometimes these cars will have the wobbles, but, that's just how racing is. That's just, driving a real car. This one ran perfectly fine. Alrighty. That's all it. That's it for today's video, so... I just want to let you guys know that I will make another video next Saturday, and we will talk more about the season, like if I'm going to get the 1975 cars next year, or else we might just go into the 80s. It'll be a tropical, maybe, but we'll talk more about the 1959 season, and then after we do the 1959 season, we probably will do maybe the 2003 season, and then we'll go into the 1975, like that type of mix order we'll do. So yeah, so more information will be further, so hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and this is the weekend. I hope you guys have a great rest of your December. Merry upcoming Christmas. Hope you guys are excited for Christmas. So this is Classic Diecast Car Racing here. This is Classic Diecast Racing here. This is Richard alongside. We'll see you on the next video. I'll see you next Saturday. I'll let you know. See you then.